This presentation will focus on how the practice of historic preservation can be used in the context of complete communities. Historic preservation means protecting buildings of historic significance, giving new life and purpose to older structures, and keeping pieces of the past part of the present through restoration efforts. Several studies have found that home values within a historic district rise more quickly than other comparable properties. Home buyers are also willing to pay a premium for houses in areas zoned for preservation. According to a study prepared by the Delaware Division of Historical and Cultural Affairs in 2010, for every $1 million spent on rehabilitation, 14.6 jobs are created. Restoring older commercial and residential buildings is environmentally responsible. Historic preservation, as a form of infill development, provides community members with usable and attractive buildings on land that is already developed. Complete communities that practice infill development use existing infrastructure and strive for redevelopment of vacant or underutilized land. Historic preservation makes this goal possible through ensuring that older buildings can retain their character, cultural significance, and practical value to a community. Complete communities that value their collective heritage promote job growth and business diversity when they use historic preservation as a vehicle for economic development. Communities with character and charm attract both new residents and businesses. Rehabilitating older homes and properties encourages job growth, often more so than new construction. Adaptive reuse as a form of historic preservation gives new life to old buildings and also conserves natural resources. Restoring older buildings uses less energy than new construction, according to the National Trust for Historic Preservation. Here is a conceptual image that shows the features of a complete community. Preservation is more than repairing aging buildings. It is a technique for encouraging economic vitality and preserving cultural identity that is already working in the first state. Tourism is a $2.1 billion industry in Delaware. Travelers are choosing Delaware as their destination of choice and, as a result, spurring economic growth. Practicing historic preservation is one way communities can attract tourism dollars. Delawareans also benefit from historic preservation because it preserves their state's maritime, agricultural, and industrial heritage. The Indian River Lifesaving Station in Rehoboth Beach celebrates and commemorates Delaware's seafaring legacy. The Delaware Agricultural Museum and Village educates visitors on Delaware's historic contributions to the industry as well as farming's continued role in the life of Delawareans. The arrival and expansion of industry in Delaware has played an immense role in the state's development. Constructed in 1802, the Hagley Museum brings visitors to a DuPont powder works and tells the story of early industrialism in northern Delaware. Lewes is a prime example of Delaware community that has adopted historic preservation initiatives. Beginning in 1960, citizens began efforts to preserve their town's heritage through historic preservation. The city of Lewes has also been instrumental in preventing the destruction of the town's historic attributes. In 2004, Lewes crafted a historic preservation ordinance that was adopted by its mayor and council members. This ordinance provides official guidelines that ensure the community's historic ambiance is preserved and reflect its blend of colonial, federal, Victorian, Delaware vernacular, and contemporary architectural styles. Originally constructed in 1872, the Queen Theater, located in the heart of Wilmington, sat empty for more than 50 years. In 2011, the Buccini-Pollan Group and the Light Up the Queen Foundation partnered to purchase the building and restored it to its original grandeur. Today, the Queen serves as an anchor for future redevelopment in downtown Wilmington. These images show the venue's transformation. Built as a Dover Opera House in 1904, this building later became a successful movie theater. However, from 1982 until 2001, the theater was unused and fell into disrepair. In 2004, a coalition between Wesley College, Delaware State University, and the Friends of the Capitol Theater purchased the theater and began the restoration process. They reopened the space to be used as the premier performing arts center in central Delaware. Including historic preservation in a community's comprehensive plan provides a foundation for establishing planning, zoning, and capital investment policies that protect historic places. A historic preservation chapter of a comprehensive plan should be prepared by a jurisdiction's planning commission and municipal staff with input from citizens, ethnic groups, nonprofit organizations, educational institutions, museums, and other historical, environmental, and archaeological societies. Finally, local governments should also consider possible impacts of land use changes and development to the preservation of historic resources. The Preliminary Land Use Service Plus process, coordinated by the Delaware Office of State Planning Coordination, provides state agency review of major land use change proposals prior to submission to local governments. The State Preservation Office is a great point of first contact when considering a preservation project or for communities looking to get more information. State historic preservation tax credits are available for qualifying homes and properties to help offset the cost of preservation work. More information can be found on the State of Delaware's Division of Historical and Cultural Affairs website. The University of Delaware Center for Historic Architecture and Design is another resource available to Delawareans. The center is home to experts in the field of preservation. Preservation help is also available from federal and private sources. More information about additional resources can be found on completecommunitiesde.org. A special thanks to the Delaware Department of Transportation and the Office of State Planning Coordination for making this presentation possible.